Hi everyone, welcome back to Daily Freddo. You know how a lot of men always say women are too dramatic, too emotional, and you know how it's also men usually being way more dramatic than women in almost every possible situation. We all agree here? If not, let me show you an example in today's episode. We all have been following the juicy conflict between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Those who follow and admire the Daily Wire hosts are concerned about what's going on, and those who aren't the fans of the show just sip this tea and enjoy every minute of it.
You know, honestly, this is a giant waste of time.
So the other day, Candace Owens woke up to a flood of hashtags, mentions, posts like Ben Shapiro destroys Candace Owens. And like us, she found out that this video was circulating in the interwebs.
Yes, the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I think she still works for my company. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
Faces of people, the shock. Talking about emotional men, huh? First of all, no matter what, Shapiro is wrong in this situation. Even if initially, hypothetically, he was right on the topic they were disagreeing on, this behavior makes him automatically wrong. You don't speak like that about your professional colleague who is also a respectable public figure. A woman that works with you and is in fact 40 weeks pregnant at the moment of filming this video. But what was the horrible thing that Candace did or said? What was Ben Shapiro referring to when calling her despicable? Before I tell you, let me read these comments to you. Someone said, I would pay money to see those two debate. Yes, me too. Another one, y'all should talk one-on-one. In a lot of ways, you all are on the same side. But here's what Rolling Stone wrote, and this will bring a little bit more context to the whole situation. The clash between Shapiro and Owens has been brewing for weeks now. Shapiro, who is Jewish, has been a prominent supporter of Israel's siege on Gaza in retaliation for the October 7th terrorist attack by Hamas militants. Owens, by contrast, has recently begun to criticize Israel for what many consider a disproportionate response that has largely targeted Palestinian civilians trapped within the Gaza Strip. Earlier this month, Owens had tweeted that no government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide ever. There is no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this needs to be said or even considered the least bit controversial to state. The post angered pro-Israeli advocates who denied the country's offensive in Gaza constitutes ethnic cleansing. So the video of Ben Shapiro was a response to Candace's tweet, called her despicable for stating her opinion. How freaking mature of him. I honestly can't believe that people of his position, following experience, intelligence, is acting like a preschooler. Candace said something I don't like. Candace is stupid, everybody. I don't like Candace. It bothers me because he could have answered like an adult. Me and Candace Owens have different opinions on the matter. And not let his inner drama queen come out. I get it, Israel is his home, it's his heritage, but just take a breather, man. You can't act like that. Well, Candace didn't wait long and she tweeted something. Now, the claim is that it wasn't in response to what Shapiro said, but I don't know, you make up your own minds. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Okay, yes, she quoted a scripture, but it coincidentally really fits the situation. Shapiro picked up on it and responded. Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means quit. Dramatic much? Candace answered, you are utterly out of line for suggesting that I cannot quote biblical scripture. The Bible is not about you. Well, once the fight goes public on Twitter, I mean X, it's all downhill from there. Again, keep it private. Sort it out behind the closed doors. Or better, why not to sit down together in one studio and do a podcast? Discuss things you disagree on. Great entertainment for us, plus you get to move on. The whole Twitter thing is embarrassing, really. Someone wrote, Candace Owens, set yourself free. Billions of people are behind you. In fact, you can have your own company and thrive. You can beat this clown. There was also another tweet from Candace. at Ben Shapiro. You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you crossed a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it. It made it sound like everyone at Daily Wire is sick of his attitude. Candace appeared in an interview with Tucker Carlson discussing the whole situation and giving her side of the story. And the way she spoke about Ben and his involvement with Daily Wire was really weird. Many people were convinced that Ben is Candace's boss at first, but that's not true. Just have a look.
I think that's fair. And just for clarity, because I really don't know, is he your boss?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about Ben's involvement. He's not the CEO of the Daily Wire. He is not making the day decisions at the Daily Wire. And I do want to make it very clear because people are like, how could you possibly save Daily Wire after this? I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire. Especially right now, the acting CEO is Caleb Robinson. He's a wonderful person. He's worked very hard to be where he's at. We have a lot in common that we connect on. And so people don't get to see that, which is unfortunate. Ben lives in Florida. He's not a part of the day-to-day movement of the Daily Wire. The rest of the hosts have their shows situated in Nashville. So we see each other every day. We talk. There's great camaraderie. Yes. And there's actually more agreement. There's actually a lot of people that are, as I describe myself, just pro-America first. And I think I've been that way consistently throughout my political career. Whether people agree with it or not in different moments is up for debate. But I don't want that video to become a reflection of how the Daily Wire works and the Daily Wire operates, because I have had a very good experience with the CEOs and, love Michael Knowles, love Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
So it almost seems as if Shapiro was an outsider, not only because he isn't in the office on a daily basis, but also because of his opinions and the way he carries himself. Let's listen to what Candace had to say about finding out about this unfortunate video of Ben calling her disgraceful and ridiculous.
But to call somebody, quote, absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step. And I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
There isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks like it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was particularly speaking on. And in what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we disagree, or I don't think she's correct, or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks. Yes. I don't think it helps further discussion.
Yep. I can tell from this clip that she's hurt by it. She's not dramatic about it. She's not overly emotional about it, but it shows that she is hurt. She also explained later in the interview her views and what she expressed about the Israel and Palestine situation.
When it comes to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a conflict that I have seen every single person, including myself, condemn what happened on October 7th. Because who wouldn't condemn terrorism? It's obvious. Who would not condemn innocent Israelis dying? But if you then say that it is also sad when an innocent Palestinian child dies, suddenly this is pro-Hamas, or you need to say, even when you're talking about how sad it is that a child dies, you need to button that statement by saying, but that child was a human shield. That's not going to be my response. First off, as a mother, that's not going to be my response as somebody who is about to give birth. When I see these images of children involved on both sides of the conflict, I've pointed to the people that are mocking dead Israeli children and said that they are horrific. I am even keel on this matter, and yet people think that you need to be extreme. So people that have become more radical and extreme are perceiving a moderate stance as not enough.
Because I was about to say, people can disagree with you or agree with you or whatever, but you certainly don't seem radical on this topic.
I'm definitively not radical. My stance has not changed in terms of whether or not America should be involved in this conflict. Whether we were talking about Afghanistan, my comments have been clear. They've been documented for years. Whether we are talking about Ukraine and Russia, my comments have been clear and they have been documented.
Basically, her opinion didn't change. Take care of America first. That's it. Stop getting involved left and right. She also expressed that as a parent, as a mother, she can't just stand by and be indifferent to children's suffering, no matter which side the children are on. So it's really hard to disagree with what she says. Yet Shapiro took it upon himself to smear her name, to call her disgraceful over it. Well, I'll say it's disgraceful of Ben Shapiro to publicly offend his work colleague. It's in bad taste. But you don't start beef with Candace Owens. We saw time and time again that she is going to gracefully destroy you without you even realizing what's what happened. And we all know that she's a master of sarcasm, and here is an example of it.
I am here today to endorse Nikki Haley for president of Israel. I think she's earned that. I think Bibi Netanyahu is going through a very bad time right now. Support for Israel has virtually collapsed socially. If you're paying attention to the trends and you're paying attention to what people are watching, you're paying attention to the protests. And the one person that I think is capable of getting it back is Nikki Haley, with enough money from foreign interest lobbies. So there it is, guys. I'm endorsing Nikki Haley, president of Israel.
Oh man, so people got so mad about it, not understanding that it's sarcasm. Someone said, she scared me there for a bit. I forgot about her sarcastic humor. And another person, she's making fun of Israel. They are so bad that Nikki would be an upgrade. Anyway, once again in media, we are observing that if you don't clearly side with one party, that means you are radically against the other. It seems like questioning, learning, and weighing information is simply not allowed anymore. It's like we are allergic to logical thinking. You either say black or white. Anything in between will be criticized, and you will be thrown into a bag with other radicals anyway. Don't people see it? We have been conditioned to not think for ourselves anymore, and it's very, very dangerous. Let people question, let them form their opinion, let them have that journey. And when it comes to specifically Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, it was mega unnecessary. As she goes off to her maternity leave, she shared this statement on her social media. I'm just going to read some snippets because it's really long, but it kinda makes us understand how she feels and where she's coming from. So this was on her Instagram stories. I'm not sure why I'm trending again. Frankly, I'm sick of it after this week. But as I am about to embark on maternity leave, there are perhaps a few things I would like to say. And then we skip a little bit. It says, I started my career being memed and attacked as being anti-black and self-hating for challenging the Black Lives Matter narrative and the lockstep commitment that corporations, politicians, Hollywood and media had in fostering a hysterical illusion that no one had the right to challenge the movement because slavery. I didn't do this by telling the other side to shut up. No, she was always hosting people and having a dialogue. She goes on to say, I'm here to differentiate between truth and fiction so that my kids can grow up in a more honest world. Then she says, it is stunning to me that people who applauded me as I stood up and had conversation and rightfully critiqued and continue to critique the flaws in my own community do not think that I should or would muster up the same courage to ask simple questions or make basic observations about theirs. Yes, she will question and talk about everything. And then she goes on to say, here is what I have learned in politics. Never ever trust anyone who only presents to you one side. Never trust anyone who yells at you for wanting to hear both sides. Never trust people who call you stupid and put you down for admitting that you don't know everything. These people are authoritarians, not experts or respectable journalists. Yep, and then the last page says, my entire career I have been publicly put down and called stupid names. I have been caricatured as anti-vax, an Uncle Tom, a disgrace to my own black community, a Putin puppet, a transphobe, a homophobe, an inspiration to a New Zealand terrorist, a Zionist shill, an anti-Semite, a sellout, an internalized misogynist. If you name it, I can probably produce the article in which I've been called it. My entire career I've been told my 15 minutes would be up soon. Needless to say, it's been a long 15 minutes because people can see past these attempts to shut down conversation. Exactly, and then at the end she says, I still do not claim to know everything, but I do know that the world needs more speech, not less. It's that simple. I agree with her, obviously. I say it's a win for Candace, not Shapiro. He acted too emotional on an impulse, something that they both often make fun of, as people on the left usually behave this way. And after all, this is she who retweeted this meme. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro forced to wear their get-along shirt. This is our get-along shirt. And she retweeted it and she says, LMAO, fact check, true. So this is like a satirical article that Daily Wire made them wear this shirt and they have to agree and they have to say I love you to each other and I'm sorry and so on. Obviously that didn't happen, but we're waiting for it, okay? So even though she's clearly hurt, she can still have a sense of humor about the whole thing. It's serious, but it's not that serious. So hopefully they can hash it out in private and preferably on a podcast in a few weeks after Candace had her baby and recovered. But as usual, I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments. Subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications to never miss another Daily Freddo episode. And for even more content, follow me on Instagram at Daily Freddo. And if you like this video, make sure to share and like it because it helps the algorithm, it helps me reach more people. That's all for today. Have a good one.
Just for clarity, because I really don't know, is he your boss?
I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire.